Welcome to the season finale of Level Table Live, Level Legal's monthly legal services live stream that explores the human side of legal technology. I'm Joey Sieber, CEO of Level Legal, and as usual, I'm joined by Daniel Bonner, our Director of Client Solutions, who is co-hosting today. We're excited to have all of you who are joining us here as we explore the accidental eDiscoverer, Haresh Bhungalia, on AI, strategy shifts, and the random road that he took to Casepoint. By the end of our time, we'll discuss his path to becoming CEO of Casepoint and what he learned along the way with several career setbacks. We'll probably talk about what's going on in our industry. So welcome to Level Table Live, Haresh. We're glad that you're here.
Hi, Joey. Thank you very much. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it.
Well, let's get to know our guest, Haresh. I've known Haresh for many years now, but I'm glad that everyone joining us will also get to know him today. He's an investor and CEO at Casepoint. What is Casepoint? Well, Casepoint is a trusted e-discovery provider or platform for large corporations, government agencies, and law firms. Full disclosure, Level Legal is an authorized partner. We work with Casepoint and have for several years. But back to Haresh. He's a serial entrepreneur. After 2 years at Arthur Andersen, he co-founded an IT services company called 2020 Company, not in legal tech. He left 2020 after 11 years in 2012. That math doesn't add up. And he did several things all at once. So he invested, advised, and was on the board of Brandify, Data RPM, and Collaboralink, none of them, again, in legal tech. You were busy in 2012, Haresh, when he went to Casepoint. And as a side note, in his spare time, he's got a lovely family, and he also is a serious cyclist. Well, one thing I noticed as a 2020 company, we're talking about your history, all of the other companies are not legal tech. eDiscovery seems to be accidental. How did you get into this business?
It's a great question. I got a degree in economics from the University of Michigan. So I don't have a technical degree from that standpoint. But one of the things that degree in my first couple of years at Arthur Andersen taught me is how to identify and solve problems, or how to identify and pursue opportunities. And really, when you look at it, that's what I do. And that's what I've been doing for the better part of my career. When we started 2020 back in 2000, 2001, we were really coming off of the heels of Y2K. We were coming off of the heels of ERP being in demand, and we saw that there was an opportunity for a services organization to help state and local entities implement these complex systems. That's how we started. That business eventually evolved into a government IT services business, focusing predominantly on health IT towards the end when we sold it in 2012. So it really is about identifying opportunities and finding a way to pursue them.
A little bit more about Casepoint. A similar focus, I think, on government providers. Is that a place where you think the industry is going, or where there's opportunity, and maybe if so, why?
I think from an industry perspective, the need for e-discovery is going to cut across multiple industries. I think that as organizations, and in our case, as a software provider, it really is about finding where we are the best fit. We started Casepoint in 2008. Initially, actually, two founders started it, Vipul and Vishal Rajpura. They came to me and my business partner at the time, Paresh Galani, initially as investors and advisors. Eventually, when we sold that first business, I came on as an operating partner. But at that time, the need for discovery was really predominantly in the law firm end market. Mm-hmm. And so that's really where we focused, because that's where the opportunity was. And really had a great time scaling that business, selling within our circles of influence. But as we looked ahead, we saw an opportunity to pivot the business, go direct to government, direct to corporate, for a number of reasons. I think that from a technology perspective, we are a product fit for that end market. So that was a key component, particularly because of two things: our security posture, as well as the feature rich and the full functionality of the platform that we have allows us to be a fit. And it really, the other thing that it does is it gets us closest to where the need is. And to me, I think that's the most important thing. The most important thing is that the need for discovery originates inside of these large organizations, whether they be government or corporations that are regulated or anything along those lines. And we wanted to be closest to the need so that we can address the opportunities and the challenges that they're having and really evolve the technology to meet their needs.
Yeah, makes sense. So as a CEO, you've built a big company and one of the top providers in our industry. How do you see your job as CEO? What are your primary responsibilities day to day? Where do you focus your time?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think it evolves over time. So when you're early stage startup, scrappy startup, whatever it might be, I mean, you're janitor, you're cleaning the kitchen, you're
Mm,
making payroll, you're doing accounting, you're doing all of the things that need to get done. And I think that there's a transition from being an entrepreneur to being a leader. Not to say that entrepreneurs can't be leaders and leaders can't be
mm,
entrepreneurs, but the stage that we are as an organization and the maturity that we are today and the scale that we are today, the company really needs me to be a leader,
mm,
which means put in place the processes, the infrastructure, the culture, the vision, the strategy, and then empower the team to deliver to them, which
mhm,
means that you have to be able to articulate it. You have to be able to really define it in a succinct manner, and you have to be able to communicate it in a way that it's understood by not only just your management team, but through the rest of the organization.
mhm,
And frankly, that is something that I do struggle with from time to time. As an entrepreneur, you're moving 100 miles an hour. I mean, Joe, you know this, right? And you're on to the next thing and you're trying to figure out, you're like, oh, why are you not coming along for the ride? And it's like, well, because you didn't take the time to explain to me where we're going.
mhm.
So it's important that we take a pause and we be entrepreneurial for sure, but really be leader. We have to be a leader. That's where I spend a lot of my time.